Welcome to the Two Tunes podcast.
Yes. It's been a while for us.
For us, it has.
For everybody else, it's like, what do you mean? You guys were just here last week.
So this is how my brain works in that it doesn't. I don't know, the last time we recorded was about 2 weeks ago, I guess. And when this most recent episode, like last week's episode dropped,
Yeah.
People in the Discord and then people messaging me separately were like, it's whatever,
Like
the cat. They're like answering questions of things that we were like, it's some cat thing. I still don't know.
I already forget again.
I want to say like Pedro the cat, but that is not correct at all.
Pedro, it's Splat the cat.
Nope.
No, it's not Splat the cat?
I don't think so.
God, I'm sorry, Christian. I just read it like yesterday.
It's going to happen in the thing again. Hang on.
Spike the cat?
I don't know. Where's my message from
Hey,
Keisha?
where are you looking this up on? Are you looking at our
I could
Discord?
look at the Discord, but I'm finding my friend Keisha messaged me. Pete the cat.
Pete the cat. Rocking in his school shoes.
There we go.
By the way, we should,
so she said that, and then I was like, so here's the thing. I disclosed this to her, and now I'm disclosing to everybody. I was like, here's the thing. I don't remember what that's in reference to. Because my brain doesn't work that way. It was really funny when we very first started because I think we recorded the first episode like
in October,
2 months before, almost 3 months before it finally aired.
Yeah.
And I'm similar thing where somebody or a couple people were like, oh, it's this, it's whatever. And I was like, yeah, I literally have no idea what you're talking about because it was like months ago. And now it's like 2 weeks ago and I still have no idea what people are talking about.
Yeah.
So
I'll read this.
It's fun.
So comments in our Discord, Pete the cat.
Pete the
cat.
cat.
Cool.
Yep.
I know what you're talking about. The Gnostics did Gospels.
That I sort of remember saying something about something. I don't know.
and then it's like more of just like an actual conversation, not just answering our questions.
Yeah.
But
which is cool.
Which is awesome. And you can join that conversation too in the Discord because it's in our show notes.
Yes.
And by the way, this is a podcast. We already introduced what this is, but my name is Bo.
My name is Brandon.
And if you were listening the past like 5 weeks, we didn't tell you that.
That's okay. Maybe.
And we talk about two tunes.
Two tunes. Who's first this week?
I am.
Cool.
I think like every time that we get together, it's like I'm first, then you're second.
We've been knocking out 2 per time mostly, so
it's the 2 Tunes 2 episode podcast. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
No problem. Did you actually leave 1 second of dead air?
No, I didn't. Oh. But like one of our tracks wasn't recording, so I needed to. It wasn't you or me. It was the thing that's going to happen in like 2 minutes.
The tune.
The tunes. The first tune.
So your first this is Church Girls?
This is Church Girls. It sounds so weird.
What?
Just the name when you say
band,
it.
Church Girls.
It sounds weird in general.
It's like not a phrase.
Yeah.
Like not a common phrase at least.
Because like Altar Boys is.
Right. Which is a band, which is like an old punk band, I think.
Okay.
I think it's like an old Christian punk band from like the 80s.
Well, and
Boys might have had a Z on it.
Church Boys. Okay.
Altar Boys.
Altar Boys.
Actually, I don't think it did, but it was definitely
me at the Altar Boys.
Nice.
No, what is isn't there a band just called At the Altar? Or
there's At the Drive-In.
No, that's not the thing. I was thinking of these like band names that you could like put together. And one was like, it was like meet me at the, and I think it's just At the Altar.
At the Altar
is a band. So it's just that, and then you'd be like, meet me at the Altar Bridge.
Nice.
And then like, what's a band that starts with a bridge?
Ooh,
I don't know.
But
so I got, it's been a while, and I think I found like the next 5 episodes like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So like these 2 songs are part of that like finding new music. I found like a whole bunch of like really cool, interesting bands that I liked, and one is related to Alter Bridge.
Nice.
So what do you know about Alter Bridge? This is not that episode.
Alter Bridge is the after Creed, after Scott Stapp left Creed.
Yeah. So
who was I like just talked about them not that long, maybe like a month or so ago.
But so yeah, it's Creed then becomes Alter Bridge. Then when Alter Bridge doesn't do anything, the guy that spans all of this stuff is Mark Tremonti, and then he's got his own. I want to say it's a solo project, but like just because it's his name, it's Tremonti.
Yeah. Okay.
Which we're going to talk about Tremonti in like a couple weeks or so. Okay. Anyway, so spoiler alert. Listen to the new Tremonti record.
Nice.
for your early 2000s, late 90s rock sound.
This is totally unrelated, but when you
Everything's
were listing
unrelated.
random band names, it made me think of the other day, randomly, I just thought about, I was like, The Academy Is.
Yeah.
That's a band that existed. And I liked them. I liked that one album, at least.
Yeah.
And I saw them live on Warped Tour one time. And I remember their drummer had a really cool drums. But I just had that thought pop into my head the other day. I was like, The Academy Is. I should go listen to them again because I haven't.
So back to we're getting tangenty,
whatever.
like tangents upon tangents.
It's Friday. It's almost
We're
Thanksgiving.
we're fractaling here.
Nice.
It is. It's Friday for us,
Friday
but
for
it's
us.
it's Tuesday,
So
which
it's
is
even
also
more almost Thanksgiving.
which is also like this is the last day of school for unless you did this swap day thing. But I will not be at work today, Tuesday.
You won't be on Tuesday?
No, I'm out.
It's a school day, Bo.
Well, for everyone but elementary school.
Yeah, but they have conferences.
Yeah, but my daughter doesn't, but my son does. So one kid has school and the other doesn't, and the other one can't take care of itself.
Right.
Herself.
She's probably fine.
She's probably fine, yeah.
Fence her off in the backyard.
Yeah. Oh my God, it'd be so cold.
Give her a jacket. Light a fire. She'll be fine.
Just throw this on the fire.
She's
kid.
smart. She'll figure it out.
Yeah, she's fine. So on this, Church Girls.
Yes.
Same way I discover every band is like through that, like, you might like these people.
Yep. And you're like, I do like these people.
And I heard the song, and I'm like, I do like this. Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder what else they have. Oh, wait, they're already on my list.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so like their previous album was like also on my list of like, oh, I like that record.
Yeah.
But not enough to like dive in and like it was kind of like, I like this song. I'm going to like listen to it. Ooh, I like a lot more songs. I'll just add the record. Didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
And then
I've been guilty of that.
Yeah.
And actually, my tune today is the same way. I've had this album saved for a minute. And
oh my God.
haven't gotten to it.
Sorry, we'll get
continue.
there. We'll get there. But like, so like, oh, I do know this band already, but I know nothing about them besides that they're from Philadelphia.
Okay.
Like, that's all I know.
That's also Sub Radio that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
When I was at the Sammy Ray show watching them, and I was like, ooh, I really like them. Let me go to Spotify. I'd already had like 6 songs saved of theirs.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd ever listened.
Yes.
Cool.
So let's dive into this.
Go for it. Can you pause for a second?
Oh my God! What the hell?
So the first thing I thought of as I was listening to this intro,
I was gonna actually talk about what it reminded you of.
do you remember?
You remember?
I'm pretty sure you or I like sent each other this guy from TikTok who does these like. This is like, if this like soundbite, but it's like a Midwestern emo song or whatever, like intro. Do you remember this?
I
wish I could remember his name.
But it was just like talking like he's like, you're not supposed to sleep with my dad.
That's the thing.
Joke.
The clip was these 2 girls like arguing on the street or whatever, and she's like, I just like slept with him as a joke, and then the other girl's like, it was my dad, and he like plays this not completely similar to this, but similar enough to this thing over it, and that's what I was just thinking. I was like,
okay,
is there going to be some talking and some whatever?
So yeah, there's it's Midwest emo, but it's not.
But it's not. The song is not that at all,
not.
though. Yeah.
So
anyway, sorry, that's what I thought of.
So while listening to this record, I'm like, what song should I choose? What song should I choose? And I'll explain why I chose this song over other songs. Which, like, once it gets into. Because also I'm reminded of other bands.
Predictable drum fill intro. Which is not a bad thing.
All right, so that just like the way that the delivery of this song is, like the tempo and how the drums are, it reminded, this song in particular reminds me of like Motion City soundtrack.
Yes.
Just a little bit, okay. tiny bit within the context of all the other songs that like they don't sound like that band. But this, I'm like, because like I keep thinking, it's like we need to have them on this. We need to talk about Motion.
Yeah, have we not done that yet?
We have not, and
MCS,
I'm like,
just MCS,
and I'm wondering like why haven't we done that? And the reason I haven't brought it up because I know that you want to bring them up.
Sure.
And I was like, when's he going to bring it in? Is he ever going to bring it in?
Yeah.
Do I have to bring it in and be the guy? And he's like,
No,
dude, I was going to bring it in.
Yeah.
So
I'll do it.
This is my
For the
like,
Christmas episode, I'll play
Christmas
a non-Christmas Motion City soundtrack.
Yeah, it's Christmas season. Anyway, so that's like the first thing. Like I chose this song specifically for you.
Okay.
Because of MCS.
All right.
To fight back all my old routines. How could I explain to you what it's like?
Can you pause a second again?
To take
I have a bit of I like this song. I like this tune. I dig the vibe and stuff. A little bit of cognitive dissonance with this, in that I expect her voice or the music to be different.
Yeah. Like
the
the
her-
vocals don't match the guitar.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. It's just like you could stick a different musical background behind her vocals and it's going to work. And you could probably just like rough up her vocals a little bit, put a little more edge to it, and it works over this background. But also they work together.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
I think that this is a very interesting combination. Like it reminds me of something that I'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
But it is like this doesn't sound like your typical whatever.
Yeah.
Like vocal guitar combinations. There's two guitar players. She's one of them. Bass player, drummer.
Have we talked
four-piece.
about the bomb pops on here? Have I brought them in?
Maybe we haven't talked about the songs, but you've maybe talked about the band.
Okay. I just get a female-led punk band. I don't know that these guys are punk church girls, but that's just, I get a little bit of that thought.
Maybe.
Anyway.
So yeah. Maybe we'll get to more of the song.
And those meetings where the low life's grown and speak so easily. It's like no one ever taught me how. But breathing in and out's like a small vacation. I've left my body for the shore. Banking on the thought that they'll be waiting. I myself will be at the door.
All right. So in your mind, what time period does this remind you of? Is it like this is a now, like this is the future, or this is a now?
No,
or
it's a
this
very
is,
now /
like
anything in the last 10 years, 15 years.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking, like, when I hear this, I think of a specific, like, 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
Okay. It also reminds me of Thursday.
Uh-huh.
Like the vocal delivery and also like the guitars a little bit.
yeah.
Like it's not Thursday,
No,
but
no.
like they could tour
Thursdays
together.
to me a little more. Oh, touring together for sure. Thursday to me is a little more angular and a little more esoteric.
Okay. Big words.
Yeah. Imperative
but it like the whole thing kind of just like the whole album is just like this reminds me of me in 2001 2002 like this is I think it's really cool.
I can hear a direct line from Thursday, Emotional City soundtrack, maybe some Taking Back Sunday, Paramore, whatever, like just those early to mid 2000s-y bands in quote unquote the scene, you know what I mean, like from like the let's say like Warped Tour esque bands and stuff. Like I hear a through line because this is from 2021, right? Like
this is brand new.
Okay, how long have they been around?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Wikipedia doesn't tell us anything.
That's fine. We can look it up. But
they're from Philadelphia.
Well, I'm just gonna look up
That's
like
all I know.
on Spotify, like other albums that they have. Like when did those come out?
I think the other one was like right before the pandemic, was like 2019.
Oh, okay, so they're relatively new. But just all that being said, is I can hear a through line.
Yeah.
From 2001 to this band now.
One week out on my own and I'm doing alright. The walls in this place are where echoes go to die.
Currently saving the album, by the way, on Spotify, so I can eventually listen to it in 2 months when I remember.
Yeah. This is off of Still Blooms.
Yeah.
And then the album that was before that was called The Haunt.
Cool.
Which I think that's cool too. Like that record was really good. I didn't put it as much time as this record because I was like, well, I want to put out. I want to connect to newer music from these bands, because if you connect with like really old music and then like you listen to new, it's like, oh, they changed. They're not that anymore. So if you start with something that's like fresher, and then you can go back, it's like, oh, okay, I dig the stuff that they did, but it's not who they are now.
Right.
I myself would be out the door.
And some of the metaphors in here, like my body's going on vacation to the shore or something.
Yeah.
Like that, which is just like, okay, like it's an existential vacation.
Yeah. Well, because isn't the line that comes later or has already happened, I forget, is something about like, who knew that like breathing in could be such a small vacation?
Yeah, that is exactly the
Yeah.
one. And it's, I think, after like the last, it's the chorus.
Yeah.
In and out the
Small vacation.
Yeah.
I've left my body for the shore.
Right.
Banking on the thought that they'll be waiting. I myself would be out the door.
And yeah, it's totally like, oh, what was the thing? It's like, you slept with my dad as a joke. It's like,
Yeah.
but he's my dad. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the song.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I like him. I just saved the album. Like I said, I will
It's good. I like it.
eventually
I dig
get
it.
to it because that's what I do.
Well,
Save albums and
okay.
songs and then go, oh, yeah.
No, man, you should listen to it now. Just
I-
like the whole thing all the way through.
We'll try to. I think I'm pretty well caught up on podcasts for this week, so that means I get to listen to music in the car. It's usually my process.
I have 36 podcasts to listen to.
Nice. I mean, I have way more that I just keep downloading and never listen to, but generally speaking, like the ones that I have to get to each week, I've gotten to.
You have
already.
to. It's like your assignments.
Well, just like, so I've got like a hockey podcast that's weekly, but that's topical. So I don't want to like go back to old ones and hear about the beginning of the season. It's already been this season for like a month. And I've got the Weekly Planet, which is obviously weekly, but also they're talking about like the latest news and shows and movies and stuff. So I want to hear that in real time.
In my podcast, I'm back to October 22nd. So I'm a month behind
Yeah.
on all of my podcasts, including our own.
Nice.
The next one
I'm
is the
very far
27th.
behind. I did listen to one or two fairly recently. I
Yeah.
mean, they're from like a while ago. And I was like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. You want to take a break? Or you want to keep
Your
powering
choice.
through? Let's keep powering
Let's
through.
power through this.
So speaking of the thing I was just talking about, of saving albums and songs and then eventually getting back to them and eventually listening to them. This album is one of those. I do not remember where I came across MARO in the first place. I feel like maybe she was recommended by somebody, I want to say like a Becca Stevens or the people from Ground Up or something. I don't know. And I found her on Instagram and liked a few, well, I followed her and then liked a few things that was like going on from there. And then I went onto Spotify and liked this album in particular. And I don't know why I picked this one in particular because she released several things in 2018.
And I think
This
just
being
recently, too, there's an EP. That just
one
came
of
out.
them. There is with, oh gosh, somebody that I'm forgetting the name
Yes.
of. And I started listening to that when that first came out. And I really dug that. Then I was like, oh, why don't I go back and listen to her actual stuff that's like not her and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So the recent EP is called Pirilampo, and it's MARO and Nasaya.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really like that EP.
And we should point out something.
Yes.
So when you search up MARO on the internet,
There are other people that come up.
there's another MARO who is Marwin Deo.
Yeah, and he's Lebanese.
He's Lebanese.
Yeah.
That's not the person we're talking about.
No.
And you go to the second one that says MARO the Masquerade.
Yeah.
And that is...
MasqueradeAtlanta.com, and it has a bio on her. I don't know what this is. It's like a venue, but they have a bio about MARO.
Yeah.
So real quick,
You can read it?
as of whenever this was published,
Mm-hmm.
not recent, I don't think. She says 24 years old, so she's 24 or probably older.
Mm-hmm.
She's from Lisbon, Portugal. She's a multi-instrumentalist and composer. She released her first solo album in 3 volumes: MARO Volume 1, MARO Volume 2, and MARO Volume 3. And all of those came out in 2018. Although this album also came out in 2018.
She just released everything.
Yeah.
The volumes one, the artwork is pretty interesting. Where the
Yeah.
first one is just a like the outline
Mhm.
of her, and then there's a little bit interior of the shirt, and then it's colored
Yeah.
in the third volume.
And it says that they're meant to be like they're chronological and they're essentially meant to be listened to like in order.
Cool.
So not just on the album, but like album 1 tracks 1 through whatever, album 2 tracks 1 through whatever. Yeah, she's also got another release in 2018, Maro and Manel, which is with Manel Rocha. So like that's a whole other album.
She's doing a lot of collabs. Recently.
And then this Pure Lampo thing that came out this year. But this is from It's Okay, which is also listed as 2018. So since she is Portuguese, she obviously sings in Portuguese. She also sings in English. She singer-songwriter, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like reading some things. She went to Berkeley for a minute. I don't think she ever graduated. Or did she?
Most great Berkeley students don't graduate.
Well, because like it's not about the degree. It's about the experiences, the connections, and the whatever. And
we need to have Christian on here. So Christian went to Berkeley, but he went to Berkeley in 1998, 99.
Okay.
Well, it'd be 99 was his freshman year, if my math is correct. No, 98 would be.
Okay. So like John Mayer had already left.
No, John Mayer was there.
That's what I mean. He had already left at that point.
No, he was.
Oh, he was there in 99?
He was there when I believe that John and Christian were in classes together.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I thought
Christian's going to have.
I was trying to think of when that first album of his came out. Maybe it was like around that time, and then he was like, "I'm out." I don't know.
He was only there for like a semester, I think.
Okay.
Christian,
that's
you tell
where
us.
Bob Reynolds, the sax player, like he met John Mayer there. I'm pretty sure, and that's how they like got connected. And he's like played on his albums and tours and different stuff.
But my thought, because like a lot of the people that you love are female singer-songwriters.
Yep.
Specifically, went to Berkeley, and they all kind of have the same. Like they all have their unique vision.
Yeah.
But they're all similar. Kinda.
I mean,
I'm not saying everybody who goes to Berkeley is like the same, but the people that you pick that went to Berkeley,
I think the only other one is
similar.
Lizzie McAlpine.
There was a third one.
Victoria Canal went to NYU.
Okay.
But again, similar thing, like went for a year or two and then was just like, oh, I'm doing my own thing. I don't need
my
this
question
necessarily.
Is late 90s, early 2000s Berkeley similar or completely different from late 10s, early 20s, 2020s?
I think to me,
is it the same school?
I mean, I don't know. That's so hard to probably not.
Probably not at all.
To like if there's a through line or a connection between these, even I don't really hear the Maro and Lizzie McAlpine similarities other than, or even John Mayer, other than that they have their own unique kind of vision and their way that they're kind of approaching things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maro's got, you were saying you were maybe had a hard time or whatever picking which Church Girls song to play because you like them all.
Yeah.
This It's Okay album by Maro, I like them all.
Oh, this is a great album.
Unique things to each track. Some similarities. Yeah.
All the way through.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, wow. Yeah.
Right?
Like,
which one do you pick?
I know you love this record. It's like,
it's got me all over it.
It's
for sure.
And I'm like, oh, those last two songs, man. Like, what were you doing when you were listening to those?
Yeah.
And when people listen to them, you'll understand. And if you really know Brandon, you'd be like, oh, he's probably crying.
I'm an emo kid.
But they're so good. They are so good. And basically, what is it? Like the second to last song, what is it called? The second to last track on that record.
Come on, Face ID work.
It's not going to let me go.
You'll be all right.
Yeah. And it's like, those are the lyrics. You'll be all right. Hey, you'll be all right. Hey, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You know what? You'll be all right. And then it goes to the chorus.
I've got most of this album saved as individual tracks.
It's
like I have the album saved, but like
it's an amazing record.
Yeah.
So going back to why this one?
I think we'll talk about why. So she uses a lot of interesting effects and things, mostly vocal effects, of like kind of layering voices and just general effects of voices. There was a couple tracks I was listening to this with a friend of mine, and she was like, "Wait, this is the same person, like track to track. That's the same girl. That's the same thing." Because there's a couple of them that's like her voice sounds kind of like low.
I think, yeah.
And part of it is she kind of does have like a lower range, but also just the effects. Like
she puts effects on her voice.
That like it just made it seem like a little maybe like bassier or something.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to the way that Jacob Collier does some things, not obviously stacking like himself 90 times. I don't think she did that, but
90, that's light.
but similar stuff to that. And also maybe like my friend also said about like Imogen Heap vibes a little bit with the like the vocoder and the whatever stuff that she does. But this one in particular, there's a really cool effect that happens a few times that I don't know if you I mean, you messaged me about it, but I don't know if you had the same thing of like where you had to like look at your computer or your phone and be like, is it what's happening for a second?
Get there. We'll get there. We'll play it.
But
we'll
all that to
stop
say,
it.
that's why this one as opposed to any other one.
Okay.
Again, I could have just played the whole album and we'd, but
So here
let's
is
get into it. Nana or Nana.
good
Nana.
question.
We'll hear how she pronounces it
Tape sped up.
right away. She's doing her thing. Pretty sure this is just her,
Yeah.
like a bunch of times, but singing them individually as opposed to
An effect. There's probably 3. Right now it's very narrow, but I know that it gets a lot wider at some point.
Nana, come and lay next to me. Play with my hair till we're asleep. Nana, you're in all of my dreams. Nana, I don't want you.
It's cool stuff kind of happening, like almost sounds like behind your ears.
Yeah.
Like the
It
layering
could
of
possibly
things.
be in that right there.
There it is. That's the first one. We got to go back so we can not talk over it, but it's a radio. It's
Every part of me.
Is it though?
hang on.
Say you'll stay forever with me.
It's like you're driving down and listening to the radio,
Is-
and you just hit that patch of bad service, and it cuts out for just a second.
Okay,
That's what it reminds me of.
There's a bit of that, but I also think it's like worn out tape.
And that could be as well.
Like that's also what I was hearing. But I was seriously like, wait, what?
Yep.
And then I had to go back to because there was no like rewind because I was in my car.
Yeah.
So I had to play the whole song over again. I'm like, okay, where was it? All right, okay, it's in there.
And I
It's-
actually forgot until today because I was listening to it again on the way over here just to kind of like refresh my brain on it.
Yeah.
I forgot that it happens this soon.
yeah, it's
Because it happens very specifically and longer towards the end.
yeah.
But I forgot that like a minute and 7 seconds in,
Mm-hmm.
it happens already. But again, that's why I picked this song because I thought that was a really cool effect.
Yeah. My
And
question
not
is
easy
why?
to recreate
Like,
digitally.
is it
I don't know.
prosody? Does it mean something to the song?
I assume so. Like
And
why else? Why not use it on any other song other
Yeah,
than this one?
yeah.
It's
But
got to
then
mean something.
Then what? Like, is this supposed to be like? Well, when I used to drive around with my nana.
Well, here's the
in
thing:
the
is
car.
it your Nana? Is it like your grandma, or is it just like
I don't know.
Nana? I think it's Nana as like a name of somebody, like a nickname or something.
know.
Because,
We'll just play.
well, just lyrically, like smiling like I make you complete, like it's sort of, and then like from falling in love with you. Tell me you're falling too. Like
Yeah, it's probably.
it could
It's
just
not
be
a
an
grandmother.
overly dramatic expression of love for your grandmother, but I don't know. But that's kind of what I wonder. Like maybe did they take drives and like listen to the radio or listen to tapes or something, and
Maybe.
that would happen, and it's like I want to recreate that feeling.
And then there's some crackle
Yeah.
of a record
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
So it's got a lot of weird old medium
yeah.
sounds.
Radio, tape, record. Yeah,
Nana, when you look straight at me, smiling
And a lot of
like
this is just
I make you
guitar and piano.
and voice.
And
Yeah.
that was also there.
There's another one. Yeah,
Which it could be like I'm finding things. If it's that, I don't think they pull it off. If it's tape, maybe like
no,
worn out tape.
it's not like you're changing the radio
No, I
dial.
get
It's
it.
like you're just losing signal.
I don't think. I think there's a better way to pull it off. If that's the thing that they're trying to go
I think it's perfect, personally, because that's exactly what I thought was happening. And then I realized, no, you're listening on Spotify. And I was like in my office the first time I heard it too. Now it sounds like it's changing the dial, or just losing it.
Yeah, and then probably this is the demo
Yeah.
with also the.
Yeah, it's definitely the radio thing, because it's that thing of like, even you've now gone out of range of that station, but you're picking up other stations over top of it, kind of thing.
I just don't like. That's not what I hear.
Okay.
I understand it and be like, yeah, kind of.
Do you understand?
Yes, but I don't believe it.
Okay.
I don't believe that it feels like we're driving the car, especially with the way that it starts as well. I don't know. I get that aesthetic. I just don't think that they pulled it off the
I was
way
sucked
that
in for sure. Like I said, I was in
it's
my
great.
office.
It is great
listening, and I
know it sounds like it's broken.
Yeah,
which is awesome. I don't think that radio distancing. I did not get that, but I do get it with your explanation. It's like explaining a joke. It's like it's not funny if you have to explain it. So it's not as.
Meanwhile, this is still a good song.
No, it's a great song. It's a great album.
And the album, and also
it's so good.
Again, it should be listened to top to bottom. There's a lot of like things that kind of like segue into the next song.
Yeah, like this song kind of goes into the next one, and then like the last four are all just like even the guitar, just like it's this similar pattern.
Yeah,
and it's just they like tune it down into another key, and then you're in that key.
Yeah, the last time I listened to it all the way through, I didn't notice how all of that was kind of connecting until about the back half. And I haven't gone back to the front half to see if it does. Like the whole album kind of like segues directly into each track. Or if
it's
just
like when you're listening to this podcast that you don't know when this podcast ends and the next one begins because we don't have an intro or an outro.
Yes, that's the goal. Just to get you listening to like 47 episodes in a row. Cool. I think that's the podcast, though.
That is the podcast
for this week.
Yeah.
Or we shouldn't say anything, and we'll just be like, yeah, and then this other thing, and then we'll pause it, and no one will know, and you put it back on, and then we'll be talking about other stuff next week.
Yeah.
So this is Two Tunes Podcast, in case you forgot. You can find us on Instagram at Two Tunes Podcast. Facebook.
There's a group.
It's Facebook by Meta. The Two Tunes Podcast on there.
When did you know that they were in the future? When they called Facebook Meta?
It's funny, today on the news, they were like, Meta, formerly known as Facebook, is being like sued by like 11 attorneys general or something today.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, you knew Instagram was bad for kids and you still let them use it. And they're like,
it's
kinda. I don't know. There's parental controls and.
Anyways, I don't know what we're talking about. If you want to be on Instagram, that's cool. If you're over 13.
Yep.
With your parents' permission.
Yeah.
But we also have a Discord.
Yes.
And if you're over the age of 13 and under the age of 18, please ask your parents' permission.
Yes.
And if we get in trouble, it's your fault, not mine.
Okay. Join the Discord.
Join the Discord. There's cool conversations going on over there, even if they're like 10, 20 episodes behind.
That's okay.
It's going to be really funny when they catch up and then they hear this and they know we're talking about that. It's like, that was like in December. It's the end of the school year.
Nice.
Anyways, we'll see you next week.
Cool. See
Bye.
you. Bye. Peace.